Could you share a case study or an example of a particularly challenging university partnership and how you navigated that?
One comes to mind from my early days in my career, and it really set the stage for how I looked at partnership from that moment forward. So while it was a very difficult challenge in the moment, it really did teach me the most. And so, what I would say is not intentionally at all. We had a university partner to whom we overpromised and underdelivered. And I was brought in to help set the right course of service and delivery to this university partner. And I think what we have to remember, especially when we sell to university partners, we know our products are really great and we know that we are in this business. Everybody says the same thing. It's because we want to impact people's lives in a positive way through education. I think that's everybody's raison d'etre. My French is terrible, but you'll forgive me. So what we have to remember is that the end user is a student who this is their main aspiration at this part in their lives, right? To do whatever they're doing in relation to that university. And one thing that I did in that case study, number one, is just I put the noise of the university partner aside. And through the challenge, I just thought about that student in this case, who was the ultimate recipient of our service. And then beyond that, I think in working with university partners, it's always important to remember that their first goal is academic integrity. How can you, as their vendor or service provider, help them keep that academic integrity intact? So that's what I led with in engaging the university partner in this challenging moment. The second thing I did, and this may seem obvious, but it's probably good for any relationship, is I was direct and transparent. Nobody likes to provide bad news, especially when the bad news is, no, I can't fix this thing that's going poorly overnight. It is going to take probably weeks, right? Maybe even months. And that was not something that was palatable to my peers within my company or the university partner, but it was important to be clear, transparent, direct. The third thing I would say is in most cases with university partners, if you can tie your success to their success and truly be a partner rather than a vendor, that is going to go far. In this case study, I made sure that I aligned the goals that the university had for how our service would ultimately operate with the goals that I set for my team in delivering that service, so that if we succeeded, the partner succeeded. If we failed, the partner failed, right? The university partner. And they had to do some things to help us succeed, right? So it wasn't just we were on our heels here and we had to just perform. We did need some help from the university partner to ultimately succeed. So anything you can do to tie your boats together so that you rise with the tide, or hopefully not, but sink together, I think is a really good strategy. And having that investment both ways is going to really help the partnership a lot. I think the last thing that I did beyond in this case study of something that wasn't going so well, and they were difficult, demanding, like think of whatever US or European brand that comes to mind when you say, elite, old. In this case here in the US, almost as old as the country itself, right? There are people who hold their brands in high esteem. So what I did throughout this challenge was to outline my respect for that brand and my part in delivering a service that would uphold the integrity of that brand. And, again, this wasn't something that turned around in weeks or even months. But I will say now, like a decade after this difficult moment in the relationship, this university partner is no less difficult, but we have a really good understanding and we perform really well. And again, we are aligned in our common goals and direct and transparent. I think in a partnership, you need to be clear, right? And I think that went a really long way. So think of yourself not as a vendor, but a partner, part of that entire ecosystem, many of which go back centuries, right? In Europe and the US, certainly.